Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at me paying €9 for a buff Pokemon for the season. I have not been lucky enough to get the Zapdos, at least not for Great League CP, and so what I decided is I bought the current available research where you can get a guaranteed encounter with one of the Galarian birds, and I chose Zapdos, even though it is not the ideal one. It is not the one that everyone else chooses, which is going to be, of course, Moltres, which is one of the best Pokemon in both Great as well as the Ultra League. I decided to go for the Galarian Zapdos instead. For no good reason. Sorry, I have like Fly on this Pokemon now, which makes it a tiny bit better, but of course, it is not going to make this Pokemon absolute madness, but still, I kind of want to give it a try. It has a very cool typing. Flying and Fighting is actually an amazing type to have. Fly is a great move to have as well. Cross Combat is lovely as a nuke move here. The actual recommended moveset, by the way, is hilariously enough Fly and Brave Bird, which doesn't give you any other coverage, which I didn't really enjoy too much. So I decided to go for Fly and Close Combat, which is also cheaper to get to. But yeah, having flying type coverage and fighting type coverage is honestly absolutely fantastic. As flying types are really cool against, like, I don't know, Pokemon like Grass and Bug types, which resist, for example, fighting Bug type Pokemon. Like, against those, it's going to be really, really nice. It's good against other fighting type Pokemon. It's good against ground type Pokemon here, flying type Pokemon, which is going to be lovely. And fighting is going to be great against, especially Rock and Steel, which is going to be two types that resist flying type damage. So it's a great combination together. They kind of are really good together. Also, like, fighting is good against ice type Pokemon, which you don't really want to face as a flying type. So, like, they're really good together. The only issue is just that Counter got nerfed. And this is the biggest issue for this Pokemon, that Counter got nerfed is making this quite a bit harder than it ever needed to be, sadly. If this Pokemon didn't have the Counter nerf on it, it would be one of the best Pokemon in the Go Battle League, most likely currently. As again, typing is great, charge moves are great, fast move is the issue. There are still some Pokemon that run Counter, which is basically just one Pokemon, I think, with the Annihilate that really performs well with that. And the main reason for this is because it has a 35 energy move that's absolutely busted in Rage Fist, and has a great typing and fighting and Ghost, which doesn't have a single resistance offensively in the current metagame. So yeah, like, that kind of sets apart the Annihilate. You just don't have that really with the, sadly, with the Galarian Moltres here. And so if this Pokemon is going to get a new fast move in the future, this Pokemon is going to be very, very strong. And I can definitely see them doing that, because they gave them all a new charge move. Like, why can they not give all of them a new fast move as well? Or, like, especially the Moltres a new fast move. Especially also, like, the other Pokemon, like the Articuno, would need a different charge move still. They have all signature moves that are still coming to the game as well eventually. So, like, that's going to be exciting. But, like, this Pokemon definitely going to have some potential in the future. We have a very interesting team here as well. We're going to have the, Corsola in Elite, a Pokemon that I rarely really use, but I think it's a cool Pokemon to run. And we're going to have as our Saisop here, of course, our Credilli, which is a Shadow Credilli, which does put in a little bit more pressure. But what we have with that is kind of two Pokemon that kind of help out the issues that you could have with the Zapdos. So Zapdos could struggle against Ice type still, it has the weakness against it. You still have good coverage here with the Corsola, with the Rock type moves that it has, and also, of course, Credilli with the Rock type moves that you have. Generally, against other flying type Pokemon, you're going to struggle with this Pokemon, as you have the part fighting type moves there, like typing there. So against those, you're going to have Rock type coverage. Generally speaking, like, it's a very solid team together. One issue for this team would be, of course, Elite of the Wigglytuff, but also with Acid now being added on the Credilli, generally speaking, it's going to be not as bad of a matchup. But generally, of course, we had a bit of lag issues still with this team in the beginning, but I did the last 5 battles also of today's video with already the new update in place, and that worked out quite a bit better. So yeah, with that, everything kind of worked out quite well. Here we're going to have now the Rock Tomb coming through against the opponent. This is going to allow us to get the KO against them. In comes the Scissor. Scissor is going to allow them to win the battle, but we can move on now to the next opponent. Let's see how this goes. We're going to have the Gastrodon in the lead. Of course, we have to swap out straight away, but also we have a good answer in the back here with our, it's not Moltres, it's Zapdos. I always want to say Moltres because Galarian Moltres is the only one that you really see on YouTube. You have the Zapdos. That's kind of okay for us. We are going to be able to go for a Rock Tomb against the Clodsire, which is not ideal. But what we are going to be able to do now is we are going to be able to go for the Grass type move still, do some solid damage, and I don't think that they're going to one-shot us with any move here because they're debuffed. So actually the debuff kind of does help me out here. And if I still survive a hit, which I do, I might be able to still go for a Grass Knot and get even the realignment here if I'm lucky. So let's see how this is going to go for us. The Grass Knot is going to get shielded from the opponent, which is alright. We have the Course-Like coming in. And we are going to be able to just go ahead, take the Earthquake from the opponent. We're going to try our best to go for another charge move here as well with Nightshade, but as you see, we can actually just go for the full farmer, which I guess is a little bit better with the lead that we encountered. So we're going to have a ton of energy here moving on. We still have our Zapdos, which is going to be great against the Gustlord. Here, you saw some lag, for example. I tried to swap out straight away. It didn't allow me, so I stayed in. I still went for the Power Gem there, but I wanted to actually swap out straight away. And I do actually think this impacted the battle quite a bit, because then I would have not reused the shield here then, and they have the Gaston in back, and I would have been in a way better spot, generally speaking. Now I have to hope that I can still, even with the energy advantage, get to 2 flies before they're going to be able to go for another Body Slam. Not too sure if I'm going to be able to do that, but the first fly is going to come through here from our Galarian Zapdos, getting the shield, and I'm barely missing out on the close combat. I do think that if I would have been allowed to swap out straight away, where I also tried to tap on it, I would have been able to win the battle here straight away. But this is still not over. Maybe we can still go for a charge move here. We can't. We lose barely. I do think that this kind of lost us the battle, but it is what it is. Let me move on to the next opponent. That is kind of a bit of an awkward matchup here, I have to say. Scissor, though, the charge moves are all resisted from our Zapdos here. So like that is going to be kind of nice for us. Zapdos is going to be able to resist all of those moves from the opponent. And with that, we are going to be in a position here where we can try to go for the full farm down. And we're going to be able to get the full farm down done. And I don't have to use a shield. And that is the benefit here. Let's see what's going to happen next. It's going to be the opponent going here into the Dragalge. I swap out because my counter would have been resisted. And they're going to reveal the Gastload in the back, where I can go for the Rock Tomb. I just don't know really on how to play that out. I should have just let the move go here, I think. I hope I do. I don't. I think that's a huge mistake. Because what I could have done is, I could have kept both shields for the matchup against the Dragalge. And then I would have been able to go for like 2 flies against them. Like this, they're going to be now in a position where they don't have to shield. Yeah, I definitely misplayed this. I should have just no shielded there, and I would have been in a way better spot. Because I would have got energy on my Zapdos. Now I'm kind of in a very tough spot here for myself. And I didn't need to be in that spot. Like, that's the thing. Like, I could have been in a way better position. Here we have a little bit of lag coming in again. I definitely could have had a chance of winning this one. That was my own mistake. Totally. It's still very close here. As you can see, there's survival with a few HP left, but this was on my own. There was no lag. There was just a wrong decision for shielding there. Good game to the opponent. We can move on to the next one. This should be the last battle before the update on the game, so hopefully nothing is really too heavy here. By the way, what I learned against Ghost type lead matchups, which apparently were very common for me, which was kind of annoying for my backline especially, they said you should just stay in and just go for the fast moves, don't go for any charge move. It's not worth it to go for a charge move. And as you can see here, we have now the Digger Spear against us in the back, which is good to know. We're going to be able to let the move go through, which is going to be the crunch from the opponent, which drops, of course, our defense straight away. I feel like, I don't know, like I get kind of unlucky with the crunch recently, but again, doesn't really matter most of the times anyway. They would have knocked us out here most likely anyway. I guess in awkward tiers we maybe would have been able to survive without the debuff on ourselves, but we're going to be able to still go for the rock move here. The Power Gem is going to do some solid damage against them, or get the shield. I have still another Power Gem stored for later on. And the Zapdos is going to go up now against the Digger Spear. That's going to be a very solid matchup for us. That's why I have Close Combat. Close Combat actually going to be able to knock them out here. And I should most likely no shield. And I do no shield here, which is the ideal play. Close Combat is going to be enough to knock them out. A fly would have not been enough. You would have needed to get more fast move pressure onto them before that would have been enough to knock them out. But it's still down to our Corsair against the opponent's Drapion. And I make a bit of a mistake here, maybe, by not going for the free fast move before. But I actually get that free fast move in here right now, which means I will be able to win the battle. I do think lag actually helped me here, because it looked like for both of us it was kind of sped up, which allowed me just to have the extra free fast move there at the end. I think they most likely would have thrown a better timing otherwise. To be fair, this is already after the update, and you see already the inconsistency in the Incinerate coming in. I don't know what's currently going on though, but I don't think it really mattered. We're going to have the third coming in here as well, and Yeah, I think they have mainly still the old update here. They look like they're lagging. I don't actually look like I'm lagging. I think it's the last time as well, like the incinerator was on the opponent's part. So I think they just didn't have the update. Again, I would recommend you, if you haven't done that yet, go into your Play Store, try to download the new update. The new update helps definitely with it. Lag is not fully gone, I saw that on Twitter as well, but it definitely makes things playable again, which wasn't the case for me for like over a week now. That I barely did my battles, I have to say, because of the game state. But like, you should be able to hopefully download at this point for sure the new update on the Play Store for Android that hopefully helps you out a bit more with the consistency of battles, which was my main issue. Unfortunate for the opponent, but honestly, I don't want to count the amount of battles I lost the last week due to the recent issues, so yeah, I'm taking one back here, thanks for that, but of course unfortunate that things are working out like this. So, Icy Wind is coming through here from the opponent. We're going to see the Steelix coming in. That's not an ideal matchup, sadly, for us. Steelix has a super effective fast move and charge move pressure against us. So, I should have most likely not swapped out into this Pokemon here. That is most likely a bit of an issue here that I went into the Zapdos, but it's alright. We got them kind of low. I can just take the hits here on my Credilli. I was talking about Crunch before. Crunch comes in here again, gets the debuff immediately. It's only a 20% chance nowadays. Again, 1 in 5 happens sometimes. It's alright. But we're gonna be able to go for the full farm down here. Luckily, we're gonna end up with a ton of energy on my Corsola. We have the Wigglytuff in the back, and that is just unfortunate. Like, that is just unfortunate. Wigglytuff is going to be one of the best answers to Corsola. Nothing I can do here. Solid team from the opponent, though. Makes a lot of sense. Bit weak to Talonflame, maybe? But it's alright. We will see here that we're gonna just let the move go. We know that game is over. I didn't have the health left in order to win this battle. Good game. Didn't expect the Wigglytuff and didn't hope for the Wigglytuff. Alright, we have Talonflame on the lead here. Everything looks actually normal for once, which is kind of nice. I think that's like when both have like the update, or like one is iOS and one is Android with the update. It looks a little bit better. I should have not went for the charge move here in hindsight, because I have a Pokemon that resists all of the fast move and main stab pressure from the opponent. I kind of forgot that I have a flying fighting Pokemon here. And the cool thing here as well is that Roxas is just neutral. Of course, Zapdos doesn't have the best stats ever. So, like, it's still actually a close matchup just because of the stats. But honestly, I love the Zapdos design. It's my favorite design out of the three. Absolutely. I think it looks amazing. I actually like all of the 3 Galarian birds. I really hope that we're going to get the signature moves for those soon. Would be lovely. But as you see here, they're going to have a Gaston in the back. Could have actually even had more use out of my Zapdos if I knew that. But they're going to try to go for the Earth Power here, trying to force my final shield here, which they're going to get as well. That's alright. Earth Power comes through. I am going to go up to 2, like nearly 2 Rock Tombs there as well, trying to debuff them first. This is going to allow us to get the shield actually from the opponent. They're swapping out into the Talonflame, allowing me to go for another charge move here, which is either going to get the KO or the shield. We're going to get another shield. Can I go for the charge move in time? I cannot. This is going to be just a fly though. And I'm fairly certain I could go for 4 fast moves here if I wanted to. I'm only going to go for 3 just to play it safe. And I was wondering if this was not a mistake, if they can farm me down here. But luckily we just barely survived the Mud Steps in time. We actually lagged a tiny bit there as well by 1 turn, but it doesn't matter because I still got the damage in. I would have lost CMP die anyway. And we can win the battle here. Moving on to the final one. Horrible lead matchup. Diggersby against our Corsola. Corsola's moves are all resisted on Diggersby, even double resisted for the stab move. So yeah, that's kind of the worst kind of possible matchup. We start off even worse here with the 30% chance to drop my attack on the Credilli. So like with chances, we definitely weren't lucky today, but that's alright. We have the Tentacle coming in, and honestly, I'm happy to see this Pokemon. I don't really want to see it against my other one, against my Zapdos here, but I want to see it definitely against my Corsola. And so Corsola is going to take this as an opportunity to get as much energy as possible. We're not going to go for a charge move here. We just go for the full farm down. They can go for as many charge moves as I want. They're debuffed. They're not going to be a big threat for me. And we don't get a debuff here, luckily, but it doesn't actually matter because I'm gonna swap out straight away anyway against the Diggersby. I need to get more damage onto them first in order to put them into range where hopefully I'm going to be able to get the KO with a rock-type move there with the Power Gem against them. They're going to reveal that they have the Sableye in the back, and that's going to be a very tough matchup. We're kind of getting walled here the entire time through, but this doesn't mean that we have to give up here. We will be able to get the shield from the opponent. They have a ton of energy though, which is going to be a bit annoying, but I'm going to try to do my best at basically gaining as much energy as possible here before going for my own one. They go for the perfect timing, that's alright, but I only have to take one more Shadow Claw before the opponent goes down, because this one sneaks through, I can go for the KO, and I can just go straight for my next charge move in time as well. And now I just have to hope that I'm going to be able to survive a Scorching Sands from the Diggersby and don't get the 30% debuff. Can we do this? Can we survive this? Can we luck out and don't get the debuff for once? That would be amazing as well. We don't get the debuff. With that, we have the Rock move coming through. Is it going to be enough though? It, funnily enough, isn't, but one more fast move is, and with that, we win the final battle. Without the lag later, it's so much easier and so much more enjoyable to play this team. I think it's a cool team as well. Of course, Zapdos isn't the best one, even with the recent update of Fly added to it. Fly is definitely helping this Pokemon out, but it needs a better fast move, so hopefully Niantic going to deliver with that in the future. But this is going to be it for this video, or like, no, Scopely. I will see you then. Bye-bye.